1999. It's a goal. New York. Go. It's pandemonium. It's euphoria. It's nothing but New York joy. Oh, what a time to be in New York City.
Alan, that's your broadcast, right? That's your guy?
Well, it's our broadcast, yeah. That is my guy. That's Alex Monaco. He's a little caffeinated. And again, everybody, forgive them. He was a toddler when the last time the Knicks made the finals, and there's a whole generation of fans that really, again, we'll go through all these obscure names if you want to, have watched a lot of bad basketball. So this is new to a lot of
I feel like it's appropriate for the city to go crazy.
But that's Radio City Music Hall, by the way, sold out.
Look at this.
For a watch party.
That's what's going on here. All right, we'll have much more on the Knicks as we go forward. The question is, who is it they will play as they now advance to the NBA Finals, which will begin next week? Well, we'll find out beginning tonight. Pivotal Game 5 in OKC after Wemby and the Spurs blew out the Thunder to tie it up at 2 games each. Wemby with 33 in Game 4. He'll need to carry that over if the Spurs hope to steal back home court advantage here. It's been an interesting, and by interesting I mean kind of weird series so far. 2-2. OKC has home court advantage. Wendy, how do you see the advantage in the series right now going to Game 5?
Well, obviously, Oklahoma City is at home. They have been brilliant on their home court the last 2 playoff runs, and they've also been excellent problem solvers. When they've had challenges in the playoffs the last couple of years, they have always bounced back. This time, however, their challenge is to fix their offense because they're missing their offensive creators outside Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. A.J. Mitchell will be out tonight with a calf injury. And look, calf strains, Greeny, are typically measured in weeks. This is late in the season. You don't know, but I don't know if they're going to get him back in this series. Jalen Williams, they have had to show their hand a little bit, and they've stopped saying hamstring soreness. They have now changed it to hamstring strain. That will be the 4th different hamstring strain he's experienced this year. But he is questionable, and he did play a little bit earlier, after the injury, so he's closer. But Shai Gilgeous-Alexander is shooting under 40% in this series. 2 lead guards with him are injured. This is a problem for the home team tonight.
And another problem that they have goes by the name of Victor Wembanyama, and he's extraordinarily tall.
And the 2 wins, he has 75 points that the Spurs have, right? And I said this 3 months ago on this show, is that if you're Mark Daigneault, like, this is what you're looking at. This is what keeps you up at night as a head coach, that you have this monster in your conference. And it's a good thing they got that championship last year, because he's going to be in the way of a lot of their attempts at more success in the West. And that's exactly what you're seeing. Maybe it's sooner than anyone expected, but there's no question when you watch his performances in the biggest stage he's ever played on in the NBA, he's ready for it now. And if you're the Thunder, what's your answer? Because it doesn't seem like they have one.
Janae, we haven't had you here in a while. What's your sense right now, big picture on the series where it stands?
You mentioned monster in your conference. This is a monster for the league for the years to come. You have someone that is a future MVP learning his star power in real time on the fly, and Victor Wembanyama. This leads me to the conclusion that SGA has no choice but to go nuclear. He has to take the shots. It's going to be difficult. A.J. Mitchell, J-Dub, the secondary and tertiary, I know that's third, creators, right, on a squad. His only choice is to do battle by himself. And we've seen him do it. He did it last year in the NBA Finals. Remember, the Pacers were the hottest offense, and then he realized, I have to shoot the ball 20 times in the first half to be aggressive, for my team to play aggressive, for it to be contagious. We saw him do it versus the Phoenix Suns. Down J-Dub, he comes in, drops 40, and then the shots look better for his teammates. But I'll say this, he's the back-to-back MVP. It's not going to be easy. 14 out of his 15 shots, where he was 6 for 15, were contested. He was double-teamed 11 times. He is the man with the trophy, and he will have to play like it.
Greatness is never easy. And both you and Wendy made mention of the problem for us. No, this is an opportunity. This is an opportunity for
SGA?
For SGA. You're at home, defending world champions. You're down 2 ball handlers. This is when the greatest players grab on that mantle and say, no, okay, it's time. And what have all the conversations been about whether it's him flailing into the free throw line? All that stuff does not matter. It matters about this moment. And I know it's never one player versus 5. But we all have to talk about the best players in the game of basketball. Can they elevate their level of play and the players around them in the biggest moments? And this is a massive moment for SGA. And that's okay to say.
Wendy.
Yeah, so the big thing with this challenge is that the Area 51, what they call Area 51, that's Stephon Castle as the primary defender. He is one of the strongest perimeter defenders in the league already, just in his third season. And then you have the backline defender of the 7'5" guy, who's the unanimous defensive player of the year. This is why he's only shooting 39%. This is a guy who shot 55% in the regular season. Okay, and the big adjustment that the Spurs made between games 3 and 4 is they stuck to the Oklahoma City shooters. The Oklahoma City shooters were killing them from outside. Now Shea is going to have to do it in a more heads-up situation. He's not going to have the shooters necessarily unless he breaks that strategy.
You're shaking your head because
I know it's practical and I know it's realistic, but like, what do we say about Kenny Atkinson? At some point, you're like, I don't want to hear it. It's game time, yo. It's game time.
But it's hard.
Of course it's hard.
He's getting double teamed, and when he breaks the double team, he's got probably.
But they're not double teaming anymore because they're going under those ball screens. It's one-on-one defense.
The best situation you can have is a mix and match.
There's also no way in the world that he's only 7'5". That guy is way more than 7'5". Every time I watch him play, he gets taller. I'm positive going into tonight's game, he's 7'8". All right, the question is, which of the two teams out west?
I love the classic.
Wemby has a knack for knocking down threes, right? Victor, he continued this stellar postseason run in Game 4, this 40-foot buzzer beater to end the first half. That's the longest, by the way, playoff field goal by a Spurs player since Genius IQ began tracking. That was in 2014. And for the game, he became the second player in Spurs postseason history to go for at least 30 points, 5 rebounds, 5 assists, and 3 blocks in a game. And he joined the great Tim Duncan in that feat. And Wemby also recorded his third game this postseason with at least 30 points and 3 blocks, tied with Duncan and David Robinson for the most such games in Spurs postseason history. And he said that nothing is unexpected, nothing is amazing, nothing is magic here. This is just Spurs basketball ultimately, Wendy.
Well, Spurs basketball is Wemby ball, okay? Because if it wasn't for him yesterday, the Spurs would have been in real trouble. I know they won by 20, and there was a bit of a laugher in the fourth quarter. He shot 11 of 22. Mm-hmm. They shot 38% as a team. Do the math. They were making 1 out of 3 if it wasn't for him.
Wasn't good.
He came into that game knowing he had to deliver a huge performance, knowing he had to carry them right out of the gates. He did. That's what you want to see from a superstar player. That's what you see from a guy who's a veteran who's played in 100 playoff games, not who's played in 12.
But ultimately, we've said that it's going to take 4 stellar Victor Wembanyama performances for San Antonio to advance. And we've seen 2. So we're going to need to see 2 more.
Yeah, we hope he has that energy because it looked like Game 3 he had some fatigue. But it starts and stops with him. We said this earlier in the show. Shump was about it. You were talking about how active he was, setting screens, being active, running into stuff. This right here is one of their most unstoppable plays or possessions they can have. Him in a pick-and-roll situation when you got De'Aaron Fox or Stephon Castle getting downhill, making make a decision play in 2-on-1. He's unstoppable. Just throw it up to the top, get a nice little lob. Same here, setting screens, rolling out fast. Isaiah Hartenstein has to engage with the guard. Stephon Castle's coming at him, knowing he can be an athlete and dunk the ball, or Fox can get a layup. He has to step up. When he does, Wemby's behind the defense, and nobody can contest a 7'4" guy that's jumping top of the backboard and finishing at the rim like that. So you can see the minutes with him on the floor.
I love when they play through him through the paint.
Yeah.
I know that the three-pointers, he can do it, and it's amazing to watch. When they played him through the paint, that's what they did in Game 1. That's what they came out and established. That is when they're hardest to beat, I believe.
And you know what I love about Wemby? He's like Jordan. He takes things personal.
Yeah, he does.
If it's the Knicks, let's not get too far ahead of ourselves. If it's the Knicks, remember who beat them in the NBA Cup?
In season
who cost Wemby $500,000? I think he'll want some get back against the Knicks, against whoever he plays. But I just love his competitive spirit, and just amazing to think 4 years ago I just saw this guy in Vegas, 3.5 years ago, trying to play for the #1 pick against the G League at night, and now he's putting them potentially in a place to get a championship.
And just looking at his accomplishments here in year 3, yesterday the All-NBA teams were announced. Of course, he made first-team All-NBA, his first nod on an All-NBA team. He was All-Defensive Team. He came 3rd in MVP voting, and he was the unanimous Defensive Player of the Year here. And so it does just feel like a matter of time here before Victor is fully unleashed.
That's really, in all honesty, that's what this postseason is really about. Is it Victor's league yet? Because if he stays healthy, it's going to be his league.
Right.
I think we can all see that. It's just a matter of, if I'm the Knicks, I'm like, let's see if we can get one before it's Victor's league. If you're the Thunder, you're like, let's see if we can get another one before it's Victor's league.
And I know RC Buford very well. He said, why not now? Why can't it be our time now?
Again, Knicks, if they want to capitalize, it's the moment now before Wemby gets to become Wemby. But he is Wemby right now, year 3. He's showing a lot of experience and veteranship.
And he said the biggest lesson that